When we head to the track, we choose our cars based on their performance pedigree. And as you can see, this lineup packs a serious punch. But this year, after a call from an old friend, we decided to add a surprise contender. It's an icon of the automotive world, but not because of its performance, or luxury features, or classic styling. Actually, it's hard to explain. So let's ask the man who owns it, former Motorweek head writer, Martin Peters.
I became interested in Trabants when I was with Motorweek, and I was in Germany working on a Porsche special. Was on the Autobahn in a 928 GT that we borrowed from the Porsche factory, and I wanted to see how fast I could make the car go. I think it was supposed to be able to do 165, and I wanted to see that. So I was watching the speedometer creep up about 160, 161, and I see a couple of trucks coming up on my right, in the right lane. And I thought to myself, well, geez, should I lift out of it now or should I just stay on it? And I said, I'll stay on it. I want to see how fast this thing will go. So just at that moment, this little car comes trundling out from between the two trucks. And it just changed my world at that minute. And I stood on the brakes as hard as I could. The ABS was working. It was doing everything it could, but there was no way I was going to miss hitting that car. And then finally, the driver of the car looked up and he saw me and trundled back over between the trucks. And the thing that surprised me was that I didn't know what kind of car it was I was looking at. It was a Trabant.
The Trabant was produced in East Germany for more than 30 years, beginning in 1957. More than 3 million were made. But it was only after the Berlin Wall came down that the Trabi became known in the West. As thousands of East Germans flooded across the border, their funny, smoky little cars were quickly abandoned, and soon became notorious as a punchline for the fall of communism. But just as quickly, the Trabant achieved icon status when rock band U2 featured the cars in their worldwide Zoo TV tour for their 1991 album, Achtung Baby.
I bought it from a guy who had purchased some cars from Germany and had them shipped from Germany in a container. And one of them was a wrecked Porsche 935 race car. And when he went to open the container, he found two cars inside he hadn't planned on, and they were both Trabants. Apparently, they were put in the container as packing material. It was all sort of a joke. And he had them sitting around his garage, and he told me about them, and I realized at that moment I needed to buy one of his cars. It has a two-cylinder, two-stroke air-cooled engine that measures about 600 cc's. It makes about 27 horsepower. It's quite slow. It is. It's not fast by anyone's imagination. The shifter is a little bit unusual, and it's a 4-speed H pattern, just like you would imagine a shift pattern being, but you have to get a little bit used to shifting on the column. The restoration was done by Birchwood Automotive Group in Ohio. And it was not too difficult to find the parts that we needed because in East Germany and in the former Eastern European countries, there are still a lot of these cars around. One of the things that makes this car enjoyable to maintain and continue owning is that there is a large group of owners who are willing to share their knowledge on online forums. And there's even a fair number of folks in this country who own Trabants and who help you when you're in a crisis and you need some parts or you need some advice.
One man's junk is another's treasure, and Martin has come to appreciate the underdog nature of this once discarded orphan. Not only has he given the Trabant a new lease on life, he's taken it from zero to hero.